Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Project Oarai. Now in today's episode I figured that I would kind of bite the bullet and actually start trying to work with some different heights within the game, because I don't want my city to be completely flat. Now, as you'll know, in the past I've tried to build places on different elevations in the past, especially in Odori. I originally started to actually build that place as kind of a testing ground for getting used to working at different heights, and kind of carried it over to the city a little bit. But it wasn't until I actually started playing a lot of City Skylines 2 where I don't have the freedom that I have in City Skylines 1. And obviously I tried to work with a lot of different heights and stuff in City Skylines 2, and after seeing the way that the cities developed and all that great stuff, I realized that it kind of looked a lot more realistic being at all these like different heights in different places, and it just looked a lot better. And I'm hoping to kind of I'm hoping to try and transfer that across to Project Oarai. So I'm kind of just dipping my foot in the water a little bit in today's episode by kind of just tinkering with that a little bit, trying to work with, well, try and work alongside this hillside, as well as obviously we're going to be keeping certain places flat because obviously the houses have to be built on flat ground and all that good stuff. I just want them to be at like the different heights so it gives off, you know, the depth and the scale of the city rather than it just looking like a flat model of a city. So what I might kind of do off camera maybe is maybe lower some roads and whatnot in other parts of the city and kind of just alter the heights of a few things just to kind of give it that feel that everything's not just a flat foundation and that's it. And I'm hoping that that's going to add a lot more realism to the city from certain angles, because there's certain times that I'm looking at it and it just looks super flat. I know that I obviously this is my first time building a city and I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, and I already feel like I have anyway in the way of like my infrastructure for the city and my transport lines. But this is my first time actually building a city, so it's not going to be amazing, you know what I mean? It's just going to look okay, I think. But some places look really nice. But yeah, anyways, I'm starting to ramble. Basically, I'm going to try and tinker with heights and stuff and not make motorways just look totally flat and roads look totally flat. So I'm going to be doing a lot of that like off camera, not really going to do much of it on camera because you know me, I spend a long time tinkering with roads. Hence why you're going to see coming up, it's going to be quite shortly, I kind of just pop in a lot of what I'm going to call the foundations for around what we're going to be building in today's episode, which I'm going to get onto in just a minute. But I'm going to be popping in these networks just because I took so long deciding their height and deciding where stuff was gonna go at what height elevation, and if I had to record all that it'd be like a 2-hour long video. And I don't want it to be a 2-hour long video, but let's actually touch on what I'm actually going to be building in today's episode. Today's episode I'm going to be building houses alongside this hillside, as you know I've already said, but I'm also going to be adding in a shrine just because this is quite a large area that I'm tinkering with, and I know that the shrine is going to take up a lot of real estate, so I can add that in so it doesn't look like it's just full of houses and that's kind of it. And one of the other reasons why I wanted to do it is because this is going to be a long stretch around the outskirts of the city, and obviously there's going to be like shrines around here and whatnot, and eventually there is going to be a hospital kind of going up into the mountainside, the hillside, sorry. But I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, we've got houses, we've got a little bit of commercial, nothing much, kind of just like a couple of corner shops and whatnot, and a couple of like storage places, and that's it. And obviously we have the train line as well, and the train line's kind of a different thing because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted over here, because I did want there to be some sort of transportation, and I didn't want it to just be buses and that was kind of it. So I had this idea of a train line, and I've already done train lines at the same height as the road and elevated, and I tried all them around here, and I just don't think they fit what I was looking for. So I've gone with a lower one, and my idea is to kind of have this wrap around the city, and I also want it to, maybe if I can figure out how it's going to work, I want it to kind of wrap round maybe all the way to the docks, because the road line, sorry, not the road lines, the train lines that you can see, I've actually separated, so they're single lines. And what my goal is to hopefully have is the top line that you can see currently. I want that to have like cargo and stuff on, and that'll go from the beach side all the way here and then down to the docks, and that'll be how the cargo gets in and out of the city. Maybe I still need to test this. And then the closest line to the road is going to be for like passengers and all that type of stuff. Now here's that area that I was talking about. I kind of just pop in the retaining walls and all that type of stuff, because as you can see, all this stuff's at so many different heights. I spent an incredibly long time figuring out the different heights and how stuff's going to work, because what I really wanted was some screenshots and maybe some cinematics for the future. And what I kind of mean by this is I didn't want there to be much road access kind of at all. I ideally didn't want to put this middle one in. I kind of wish that, looking back now, I'd have just made that a path instead of like a road that goes to where the corner shop's going to kind of be, because I wanted this feeling of all these houses were going to be set up with invisible footpaths, and I was going to make all the staircases work for it and all that type of stuff. And I really wanted some screenshots from these different height elevations that would like look towards the city from here, and you could get like the size and the scale, and you could really see like how big the city actually is. And I'm hoping that once we start to fill out, I can actually start taking some pictures and stuff from this angle, because ideally that's why I've done a few of the houses lower to the higher roads, so you can kind of like see into the city. But you're going to be able to see in the cinematics, because I've tried to kind of anyway, you're going to be able to see that's just it. Okay, so actually on to the hospital. That was actually meant to be in this episode, but unfortunately, I just ran out of time and there was nothing I could do. And what I mean by run out of time is I ran out of like real life time, not like game time and that type of stuff. No, I just I ran out of time to be able to fit it in, because my idea is I wanted there to be a lot of houses nearby and a shrine that goes up the hillside, and I wanted the hospital to be along the main road. But not only along the main road, is I wanted the separate facilities for the hospital to be on like different elevations. So obviously the critical care and A&E's all on the first floor, and maybe the specialists for like specialist stuff that's wrong with people maybe is on a higher elevation, or maybe a little bit further back. Wasn't too sure, because obviously I haven't managed to be able to get around to the hospital. So I'm thinking maybe that might be another episode, or it might be like a midweek episode, maybe like a 15-20 minute episode where we just build a hospital or something. But yeah, sadly it didn't make it into the episode, which I was a little bit gutted about, but there's not a lot I can do about it, sadly. Now, with all that being said, I do hope you enjoy the rest of the episode, and like always, I'll see you all in the next one.